Hey guys, Chad here with another video. So as you can tell by this video, I'm dressed the part, looking sharp. So today's video is a top 10 classy fragrances. So I decided to team up with Mr. Lanier Smith from Sense Memory. So Lanier Smith to me is the epitome of a gentleman. He's classy, he's sophisticated, he's cultured, he's articulate, he's well spoken, he's well mannered. He's also probably the fragrance community's most quirkiest guy when it comes to random facts. So him and I, we decided to team up, do a video together of fragrances that we think are great, classy fragrances that could be used for your weddings, your banquets, your black tie, your tuxedo type of events. So we decided to dress the part for this video, alright? So some of these fragrances that I have are very below the radar, so you're not going to smell like a lot of the guys out there. But these are all classy, they're also all sophisticated. I wouldn't say they're all sophisticated, but a guy in the right wardrobe could pull these off quite nicely. So we're going to start with this one here. It's a very under the radar fragrance, very under the radar house that caters to the men out there. So they don't do anything they have no women's apparel, nothing. So this is one of the very few houses out there that just cater to us. And they're probably more popular, more well known in Europe than in the North American market, and that is Canali. So this is Canali Black Diamond. It's got sweetness and leather. So a lot of Canali fragrances have a leather type of feel, which give it that maturity and that classy and that masculine type of feel. This is an EVP. This is great all year round, guys. This used to be my signature scent, fantastic fragrance that will definitely stand you out since it's not so popular, and that's Canali Black Diamond. This is another Italian house that doesn't get a lot of attention over here in North America, probably more so in Europe though. And that's Salvatore Ferragamo pour Homme F. It's got lavender, pepper, amber. Now some people might be put off by that pepper, but it's not a loud, strong type of pepper. It's done just nicely. Perfect for all year round. You're definitely going to stand out from a lot of the guys out there, as this is not popular at all. So when it comes to the Ferragamo fragrances, however, this is probably their main seller though. Just definitely, you're going to get a few compliments with this one, guys, I assure you. And that's Salvatore Ferragamo pour Homme F. We're going to go with another Ferragamo fragrance, and that is Pour Homme. So this is actually older than the one you just saw. I don't know if the F is their flanker or what, but this one was launched in 1999. When I first got this fragrance, I'm not going to lie, I did not like it. Just from the bottle itself, it doesn't smell all that great, so you really have to let it dry down for it to work its magic. But it's got a really nice fig note to it. That may be a little synthetic, but if you don't mind dealing with synthetic type fragrances, definitely look into this one. You're a gentleman, a mature, sophisticated guy can pull this off quite nicely. Even your 20-year-olds with the right mentality, the right attitude, and the right wardrobe. And that's Salvatore Ferragamo pour Homme. So this house, however, is a very casual type of house. So most people don't associate this with classiness or anything like that, and I can see why. But this one, they really changed it up. So I was very surprised by this fragrance. And this is a little bit older one as well. This one came out in 2002, I believe, and that is Lacoste Pour Homme. So when you think of Lacoste, you think casual, clean, fresh type of fragrances. This one is classy. It could be used for all ages, but it's got a plum, a rum, and a vanilla note that really give it a nice type of feel. Definitely could be used for all year round, except for hot, humid summer days. Definitely, like the rum and the plum and the vanilla are really prominent. This actually lasts a long time. So if you want to try something that's different from the house of Lacoste, I recommend this one, Lacoste Pour Homme. So this one is actually a decant because I cannot afford an actual bottle, just because I am a collector and there's no way I could spend that kind of money on a single bottle of fragrance. But this is from Tom Ford, and it's from his private blend collection, and that is Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille. So Tobacco Vanille, that is French, so in English it would be tobacco and vanilla. So this is a wonderful wintertime fragrance that's just perfect for those black tie galas. This is a gentlemanly, sophisticated, mature type of fragrance. Tom Ford, most of his fragrances are definitely classy. This one is gonna last you a long time. Some people may say it's unisex, but I think it's more masculine than anything. Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille. We're gonna go with another Tom Ford fragrance. This one is a lot more affordable, and it's from his designer line. His designer line is still expensive, but it's well done. So that's the reason why you're gonna fork over a little bit more money when it comes to a designer line, and that's Tom Ford Noir. So when I think of black tie, this is actually the first fragrance that comes to mind. This is a great, and I mean a great fragrance for the autumn and the winter time. It's a dark, spicy oriental that's loud, that's complex. It's, you know what, you really have to watch your applications with this one, as it could be strong. So definitely try this one out, sniff it out. You're gonna love this one. Tom Ford Noir, classy right here, guys. So when it comes to niche, so a lot of niche guys have this one in their collection. A lot of niche guys like this one, so I can see why. So that is Serge Lutens Chergui. So this is a great fall and wintertime fragrance. Some women will wear it, so some people, I could see, you know what, I could definitely see some older women pulling this one off, but this is definitely a gentleman's fragrance. It's dark, it's got some sweetness to it, it's got that hay note. Who would have thought that hay, yes, hay from a farm that horses eat, can actually be used in a fragrance, but this is done very, very well. Lasts you a long time, and that's Serge Lutens Chergui. So we're gonna go back to the House of Canali. So this one definitely is very under the is below the radar. If you want to try the Canali House, this one I would recommend first. Canali Style. This is an EDT, so it's not gonna last as long as the Black Diamond, but this, for the most part, is a leather type of fragrance. Now, leather is not a note. I think teakwood is the main note, but I don't know if teakwood gives it that leather vibe, but it's definitely a lot of leather, more masculine, very gentlemanly. Try this one out, guys. Canali Style, that could be used for all year round. Now, some gentlemen, they don't want the attention. They have that quiet inner confidence, that don't want to be the center of attention in the room. They don't want to fill the room. They just want to be subtle to themselves, and they're quiet. This is the great fragrance. You're not going to get a lot of notice with this one, but it's a calming type of fragrance, and you will get some attention if someone comes close to you, and that is Bvlgari Ombre Soir. It's got that tea note that gives it that calming effect. It's light, it's a little clean, definitely a wonderful fragrance. This came out in the mid-90s, definitely different from your other fresh fragrances out there. Great for the spring and summertime. I think it shines probably more so at nighttime, just because of, you know, pour soir, but you can wear it during the daytime as well, guys. Bvlgari Ombre Soir. So if you're that guy, that gentleman who likes to wear the fancy suits, the expensive stuff, that's not exactly loud, but likes to be a little showy, that commands that presence, that wants to be the center of attention in that room, this one is probably for you. Bentley Intense. This, who would have thought that a car company can actually do a really well done fragrance? Now, this is not a designer, this is probably not a niche, but this is niche quality. This is an EDP, this will last you a long time. It's loud, so you really gotta watch your applications. You may offend somebody if with this one, just because it is bold, it's loud, it's a little deep. I don't know what's in it, but it's definitely a classy fragrance, and that is Bentley Intense. Now, I'm gonna hand it over to Mr. Smith. Now, Mr. Smith, as I stated, always has a great wardrobe, always smelling good, but I bet you that he's not gonna come near the quality of this list or look as sharp or as handsome as me. What do you got, Lanier?
You laid down a challenge. Well, how do I look? Chad, how do I look? I really want to thank you for letting me join you with this really interesting and exciting top 10 gentleman fragrances that you thought of, and I just think it's a great idea. So without wasting too much time, let's get right into my top 10. The first one on my list would be Cristobal by Balenciaga. Now this was released in the year 2000. The nose behind it is Gerard Anthony, who's also known for a lot of other fragrances, including Azaro pour Homme. The classification is Oriental Woody, and the predominant notes for me are sandalwood, amber, benzoin, vanilla, and tobacco. Now I sprayed a little here, and it really is quite sophisticated. Slightly sweet, slightly powdery, but definitely a scent for the evening. Now the second one on the list would be something that has been around since the 1920s and was very popular with such people as Marlene Dietrich and James Dean, and that would be Knies 10. This is a beautiful fragrance, a beautiful leather fragrance that comes from Austria. Excuse me, the perfumer is unknown. It's been around since the 1920s, as I said, and it was inspired by the sport of polo, the sport of gentlemen. The classification is leather, and the predominant notes for me are leather, amber, carnation, orris root, and oak moss. It really is a spectacular and bold scent. It's definitely something that a gentleman would wear who has a really strong sense of who he is and wants to put forward a very bold and dominating, leathery kind of presentation. Now the third one on my list is from the house of Fossinable, and Fossinable was originally a suit maker in the south of France, and he was discovered in the 1950s by Cary Grant when Cary Grant was down there filming To Catch a Thief with Grace Kelly in Monte Carlo. He discovered this wonderful little shop, and it has since developed into an incredible fashion house. And this is the fragrance. It really, look at that great little cap. It just pops off like that. It's really fun. It has a real sense of the 50s to it. It was created in 1994. The perfumer I was unable to locate. It's a woody floral musk, and the most predominant notes are orange blossom, mint, and sandalwood. It really is a wonderful, masculine, kind of throwback to the 50s, beautiful fragrance. It's just a great fragrance. And the fourth one on my list would be something that a lot of you are familiar with, and that would be Platinum Egoiste by Chanel. Now this was created in 1993. The perfumer is Jacques Polge, and he is or was the head perfumer, or the only perfumer at Chanel, and he's made many Chanel fragrances, and he's known, of course, for Allure pour Homme, which many of you are familiar with. It is a woody floral musk, and the notes are geranium, lavender, and rosemary. The top notes, the notes that really stand out to me. It was originally created as just simply Egoiste in 1990, and was a big flop in the United States. Very popular in Europe. In that classification for that was a woody spicy. Now, the fifth one on my list is one of my very favorites, and that would be Eucharist by George F. Trumper of London. It was created in 1912, and it is definitely a gentleman's fragrance. The perfumer is unknown. It's a woody floral musk, and it has the distinction of being named in Diamonds Are Forever as the fragrance that James Bond wore in that particular book, his favorite fragrance. The predominant notes for me are oak moss, blackcurrant, and caraway. It's a really elegant, beautiful, masculine gentleman's cologne. And you know, created in 1912, I wouldn't be surprised if a bottle of this went down with the Titanic. Number 6 on my list would be the beautiful, newly released, quite elegant Valentino Wall Mo. Now this is created by the house of Valentino, and the nose on this one is Olivier Polge, who's the son of Jacques Polge, and he's known for Dior Homme, among many other fragrances. It's a leather, and the top predominant notes for me are leather, hazelnut, chocolate and roasted coffee. It is really a special, wonderful fragrance. It is often compared to Dior Homme, and even though it does a little bit of that lipstick inside of a purse feeling that is so prevalent with anything that has kind of an iris, it really is a great fragrance for men, and I definitely recommend it. On my list will be a classic from a house in Paris that's celebrating 175 years creating perfume, and that would be the beautiful and elegant Habit Rouge by Gala. Now this one was created in 1965. It definitely has a very kind of French vibe to it. I can see someone like maybe Alain Delon wearing it. And it definitely translates to today, and it's quite modern. Now the notes in this one, it's a woody oriental, and the top notes to me that stand out really beautifully are the lemon, the vanilla, the leather, and rose and rosewood. Now let's smell this one. It's a beautiful sprayer. Oh God, that really just is a chic, elegant, masculine gentleman's cologne. Really an absolute winner for me. Now, the next one on the list, number 8, would be Ombre Nuit by Dior Collection Prive. The Ombre Nuit was created in 2009. It comes in this beautiful bottle with this. Of course, everyone talks about this. The great magnetic cap. It was created in 2009, as I said, and I'm not exactly sure, but I believe the nose behind this was François Dumarche. It's an oriental, an amber rose, and pink pepper are the predominant notes. Now this one may be a bit of a challenge for some guys because it's a little sweet. This is definitely a nighttime fragrance, definitely for a formal affair. And I can guarantee you'll get lots of compliments on this one. The women just love it. It's a unisex perfume. Both men and women can wear it. Number 9 on my list is one of my absolute favorites, and I wear this a lot when I go to a formal event. As a matter of fact, last night I went to see La Traviata at the AT&T ballpark, a simulcast from the Opera House here in San Francisco. There were 22,000 people in attendance, and I wore Quai de Russie by Chanel from the Prive line, from the Collection Prive. Now, in this particular one, this was originally created in 1924 by the nose of Ernest Beau, who is known for creating Chanel No. 5. It was reintroduced in their private line in 2007, and it was inspired by Coco Chanel's clandestine romance with a Romanov on the run by the name of the Grand Duke Dmitri Pavlovich, and he goes down in history as one of the 2 men who killed the mad monk Rasputin just before the Russian Revolution. This is an oriental floral, but now when I say oriental floral, I don't get any florals at all. It's definitely a powerful but elegant leather. It's more like a Russian boot kind of leather. It really is beautiful. So it has predominant notes of leather, birch, jasmine, and tobacco leaf, and it is just spectacular. And the last one on my list of perfect scent for gentlemen would be an incredibly beautiful creation by the House of Homme, and that would be Fougère Royale. It was created in 1882, was the first fougère, and just opened the door to a whole world of fougères. And it really started it was the very first fougère and created that whole genre of fragrance. The modern perfumer, the man who was asked by Homme to recreate this in 2010, is the perfumer Rodrigo Flores Rue. Also, he's also known for a Neroli Portofino by Tom Ford. The most prominent notes to me are geranium, oak moss, bergamot patchouli, lavender, clary sage, cinnamon, and the list goes on. It is just amazing. And this is the one. Definitely. This is the one if you really want to just make an impression and stand out without being pushy or, well, a gentleman is never pushy. A gentleman always presents a perfect picture of elegance, kindness, grace, and always wears a beautiful, beautiful cologne. So thank you, Chad, for including me in this fun little experiment. And remember, wear what you love and not what they say you should like.